The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatly. Victory has 100 fathers and defeat is an orphan. Change is the law of life. And those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. Do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. We must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. A boy spends his time finding a girl to sleep with. A real man spends his time looking for the one worth waking up to. Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. We cannot negotiate with people who say what's mine is mine and what's yours is negotiable. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed and no republic can survive. Peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, quietly building new structures. And however undramatic the pursuit of peace, that pursuit must go on. A man does what he must, in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures, and that is the basis of all human morality. Art is the great democrat, calling forth creative genius from every sector of society, disregarding race or religion or wealth or color. The ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all. For in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet, we all breathe the same air, we all cherish our children's futures, and we are all mortal. The courage of life is often a less dramatic spectacle than the courage of a final moment, but it is no less a magnificent mixture of triumph and tragedy. A man does what he must, in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures, and that is the basis of all morality. Those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside. We need men who can dream of things that never were. The rising tide lifts all the boats. A child miseducated is a child lost. We are tied to the ocean. And when we go back to the sea, whether it is to sail or to watch, we are going back from whence we came. When power leads man toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the area of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. If we cannot end now our differences, at least we can help make the world safe for diversity. Liberty without learning is always in peril, and learning without liberty is always in vain. Mankind must put an end to war, or war will put an end to mankind. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Time and the world do not stand still. Change is the law of life. They follow the Hitler line: no matter how big the lie, repeat it often enough and the masses will regard it as the truth. All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us should have an equal opportunity to develop those talents. When power leads man toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. John Fitzgerald Jack Kennedy, often referred to by his initials JFK, was the 35th President of the United States, serving from 1961 until his assassination in 1963. After his military service as commander of the motor torpedo boat PT-109 during World War II in the South Pacific, Kennedy turned to politics with the encouragement and promotion of his father, Joseph P. Kennedy. Senior Kennedy represented the state of Massachusetts as a Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1947 to 1953 and in the U.S. Senate from 1953 to 1960. In the 1960 presidential election, Kennedy defeated then Vice President and Republican candidate Richard Nixon, one of the closest elections in American history. He is the only practicing Catholic to become president and, at 43, the youngest to be elected to the office. Kennedy is also the only president to win a Pulitzer Prize. Events during his term include the Bay of Pigs invasion, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the construction of the Berlin Wall, the space race, the African American Civil Rights Movement, and the early events of the Vietnam War. Thanks for watching.